Hello everyone! The purpose of this video is to show how to set up a layer mesh generator in Flux 3D. The layer mesh is used to mesh skin depths in solid conductor region where we consider induced currents. For that, the layer mesh will keep the surface mesh on the volume and extrude the surface mesh elements towards the center of the volume. It will create prism elements for the layer. So it allows to generate this kind of mesh. So here we can see the layer in yellow and tetrahedron in the center of the volume in blue. With this layer mesh, we can have a surface mesh elements larger than the skin depth, so it allows to reduce number of mesh elements in the project. Shape of the elements inside the volume can also be chosen with the layer mesh. Tetrahedron or hexahedron can be chosen. So to define the layer mesh, we will firstly set the height of all the layer or the height of the first layer of the mesh. After that, we'll define the number of layers we want. So generally, for skin depths, we used 2 or 3 layers. After that, we will define the geometric progression coefficient of layers. A coefficient of 1 means that all the layers will have the same height. A ratio of 1.2, like in this case, means that the second layer height is 1.2 times the height of the first layer, and so on. So now, let's go for a demo in Flux. In this Flux 3D project, I have a solid conductor in which I would like to mesh the skin depth of 1 mm and have at least 2 mesh elements in the skin depth. So for that, I can assign to the point of the volume a mesh point of 0.5 mm, but that can lead to an heavy mesh. So in this case, I will use for all the points of the volume a mesh point of 6 mm and use the layer mesh. In this case, I already assigned to the point of the volume a mesh point of 6 mm, and we can see here the surface mesh generated. So to create the layer mesh, I will use the menu Mesh, Mesh Generator, and I will select New. Here I can enter a name for the mesh generator, and as mesh generator type, I will use the layers mesh. So here I will define the height of all the layers, and I will choose 1 mm, which corresponds to my skin depth. So here I will enter 1 mm. Just be careful because the value to enter is in a meter. So here you have a calculator which allows also to compute the skin depth from the material property and the frequency. Here I will choose the number of layers I want in my mesh and the geometric progression coefficients of layer, and also I will define which type of elements I want in the remaining volume. So here I will use tetrahedron. Once I have created my mesh generator, I need to assign it to the volume. So for that, I will select the volume of the solid conductor, do a right click on it, click on Edit, and in the tab Mesh, I will choose the mesh generator layers created previously. When I have assigned the mesh generator to the volume, I can mesh the volume. So to do that, I will use the menu Mesh and Mesh domain. So Flux will start with the surface mesh and extrude the mesh toward the center of the volume. We add a specific tools to have a look at the mesh element inside volume and check that the layer has correctly been done. So this tools is available from the menu Mesh, Mesh Elements, Volume Elements, and this tool is called Add to Visualization by Selection Plan. With these tools, I will select 3 points in my geometry. So the 3 points here, for example, which define a plan, and Flux will display all the volume elements which are located in one side of the plan. So here I have an option to exclude some volume. So by this I mean if I don't want to see the volume element in one volume, I can select here this volume. So here I have only this volume for demonstration, so I don't need to select any volume here. When I will click on OK, I will see the volume mesh elements inside the volume. So we can see the layer in yellow and the tetrahedron in blue. So we can zoom to see the layer in the mesh. So please note that this layer mesh is compatible with relaxation. So in this case, we don't use the relaxation in the volume. So we can see that the size of the tetrahedron is constant even in the center of the volume. So we can add some relaxation to have a tetrahedron with larger in the center of the volume. So to do that, I will create a relaxation and I will assign it to the volume. So to create this relaxation, I will use the menu Mesh, Relaxation, Relaxation Volume, and I will click on New. I will create a relaxation with a name I, for example, and I will use a I value for the relaxation. So it means a coefficient of 0.75. Okay, so I will create this relaxation and now I will apply to the volume the relaxation created previously. So to do that, I will select the volume, do a right click, click on edit, and in the tab mesh, I will select the relaxation I created previously. Okay, so to take into account this relaxation, I need to mesh again the geometry. So for that, I will use the menu Mesh and Mesh Domain. So Flux will remesh the geometry and will be able to see the impact of the relaxation. So I will do the same operation than previously. So from the menu Mesh, I will use the tools which allows to display elements in one side of a selection plan. I will select again the 3 points I select previously and click on OK. And now here, if we had a look at the volume element inside the volume, we can see the relaxation. We can see that the volume element in the center of the volume is larger than the element in the boundary of the volume. Also, In some case, we don't need to consider layer mesh on some face. So for example, if we have face inside the volume, or if we have a symmetry, for example, we don't need to have a layer mesh on the face in contact with the symmetry. For that, an option is available to exclude some face from the mesh generator of type layers. So to use it, I will firstly delete the mesh. And after that, I will select the face that I want to exclude. So it means that in this face, we don't take the surface mesh and extrude it towards the center. And I will edit the face, and in the tab mesh, I will use the option yes in the field exclude from mesh generator with layers type. I will click on OK and mesh again the geometry. Once the geometry is meshed, I can display volume elements inside the volume. I will select the 3 points and click on OK. And in this case, if we had a look at the volume elements inside the volume, we can see that we don't have any more layer mesh on this surface. And we can see a new type of element which appear in pink. It is pyramidal element. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this video will be helpful. Thank you.